Tonight, New York City's glow is dimmed by tragedy. The city that never sleeps finds itself in an unusual state of stillness, a collective pause as it grapples with the unfolding events. LaGuardia Airport, a vital artery, has become the epicenter of disaster. Normally bustling with travelers and flights, it now stands as a scene of chaos and emergency response. An Air Canada Express jet, arriving from Toronto, collided with an airport emergency vehicle on the runway. The collision has left the runway strewn with debris and emergency personnel scrambling to respond. The city, for a moment, held its breath. Passengers and airport staff alike are gripped by a mix of fear and uncertainty, their eyes fixed on the scene unfolding outside. We stand just beyond the airport's perimeter, where flashing lights paint a grim mural against the rain-soaked night. The atmosphere is heavy with tension, and the cold March rain only adds to the somber mood. The air is thick with jet fuel and the cold scent of March rain. The runway, usually a symbol of movement and travel, now lies under a shroud of tragedy. Emergency crews move with urgent purpose, their silhouettes stark against the chaos. Each responder is focused, their training and instincts guiding them through the pandemonium. The usual roar of aircraft is replaced by sirens and radio static. The control tower, a beacon of order, now coordinates a different kind of operation, one of rescue and recovery. Tonight, the focus is on the immediate aftermath, rescue, and the human cost of a disaster no one saw coming. Paramedics and firefighters work tirelessly, their efforts a testament to their dedication and bravery. For families waiting, for first responders, and for a city watching in disbelief, this is a night of profound sorrow. The emotional toll is palpable, as loved ones await news and responders support each other through the ordeal. The lights of LaGuardia, usually a beacon, now mark a deep and sudden wound. The airport, a gateway to the world, is now a focal point of grief and shock. The story of tonight's events is just beginning to unfold. As journalists and camera crews gather to report, the full impact of the disaster will become clearer in the hours and days to come. Air Canada Express Flight 751 tour was on final approach, its nose pointed toward the shimmering lights of the airport below. The aircraft, a regional jet, had already endured a turbulent journey through the stormy night skies, and now, as it descended, the rain intensified, streaking across the cockpit windows in relentless sheets. The plane sliced through thick clouds, buffeted by gusts of wind and the constant drumming of rain on the fuselage. Visibility was poor, with only fleeting glimpses of the ground below as the aircraft dropped lower, guided by instruments and the pilot's steady hands. In the cockpit, the pilots, seasoned and calm, completed their landing checklist with practiced precision. Every switch, every dial, every call-out was second nature, the result of years of training and countless landings in challenging conditions. The control tower, its windows fogged with condensation, cleared them to land on runway 4. The controller's voice crackled through the radio, a lifeline in the storm, providing reassurance and guidance. The pilots acknowledged, eyes locked on the glowing runway lights that slowly emerged from the swirling mist. Those lights, blurred by rain, were their beacon, a promise of safety after a long, tense flight. In the cabin, passengers fastened their seatbelts, some gripping armrests, others whispering reassurances to loved ones. The familiar chimes signaled final preparations, and a hush fell over the rows as everyone braced for landing. The landing gear lowered with a reassuring thud, a mechanical promise that the journey was nearly over. The sound was a comfort, a sign that the aircraft was ready for the final moments of flight. Flaps extended, every system functioning perfectly. The cockpit glowed with the soft light of instruments, each gauge and screen confirming that all was as it should be. The pilots monitored airspeed and altitude, orchestrating a symphony of data and intuition. Their voices were calm, their movements deliberate, as they guided the jet toward the runway threshold. The runway grew larger in the windshield, a safe harbor in the storm, its lights shimmering through the rain. The aircraft was perfectly aligned, descending steadily toward its destination. There was no warning of the catastrophe developing below. Unbeknownst to the crew and passengers, danger was lurking just beyond the edge of those welcoming lights. The first officer called out altitudes. 100. The numbers ticked down, each one bringing them closer to the ground, closer to what should have been a routine landing. 50, 30, 10. The cockpit was tense but controlled, every sense focused on the task at hand. The aircraft floated just above the asphalt, engines idling back, the wheels mere feet from the wet runway. For a brief moment, Time seemed to slow as the jet hovered on the edge of arrival. Touchdown was imminent, the culmination of a flawless flight and the promise of safety after a harrowing journey through the storm. But on that same strip of concrete, another drama was unfolding, unseen and unheard by anyone on Flight 751 tour. Disaster was seconds away, waiting in the darkness, ready to shatter the calm of the night. Elsewhere on the airfield, as the city slept and the airport's runways glistened under the rain, another crisis quietly unfolded in the shadows. A private plane, inbound after a routine business trip, suddenly reported a gear malfunction to the tower. The pilot's voice was calm but urgent, describing a problem that could turn catastrophic in seconds if not handled with precision. Airport Fire Truck Striker 3, one of the airport's most advanced emergency vehicles, was immediately dispatched. Its crew, trained for moments like this, prepared to respond to a possible crash landing, positioning themselves near an intersecting runway for rapid access. Navigating slick taxiways in the pouring rain, the crew maintained constant radio contact with ground control, their senses heightened by the tension of the unfolding emergency. Every instruction mattered, every second counted. They were instructed to hold at a designated point, engines idling, eyes fixed on the runway, waiting for the private plane's approach. The crew braced for the unknown, ready to spring into action at a moment's notice. But in the high-pressure environment of the control tower, a critical miscommunication occurred. Amid the overlapping emergencies and mounting stress, a single misunderstood instruction would set off a chain of events no one anticipated. Striker 3 was cleared to cross runway 13, following protocol. But what no one realized in that crucial moment was that runway 4, directly intersecting their path, was the active approach for Flight 7514, now descending through the storm. In the confusion and relentless rain, visibility was poor and radio chatter filled the air. The fire crew, focused on their mission, missed the subtle warning signs. A fatal error was about to unfold. With lights flashing and sirens silent, the fire truck moved swiftly across the airfield, their attention fixed on the private jet's emergency, unaware of the greater danger approaching from above. As they crossed the active runway, the descending jet's landing lights pierced the darkness, closing the distance in seconds. The crew inside the fire truck had no idea they were now in the direct path of Flight 751. Seconds from disaster, the mission meant to prevent tragedy had instead become its cause. A chilling reminder of how quickly chaos can overtake even the most prepared. For Flight 7514's pilots, trouble appeared as a sudden flash of red and yellow lights on the runway. There was no time to react, only a surge of adrenaline and disbelief. The jet's right wing and engine struck the fire truck with devastating force. A fireball erupted, engulfing both vehicles. The aircraft careened down the runway, shedding metal and fire, before skidding to a halt in the muddy grass. Inside, chaos reigned. Smoke, screams, and panic. In seconds, a routine landing became a scene of utter devastation. The explosion triggered immediate chaos in the airport's operations center. "Crash on runway 4!" blared across all frequencies, mobilizing every resource. Sirens wailed as emergency vehicles raced to the scene. Firefighters in silver suits advanced, unleashing torrents of foam to smother the flames. Crews rushed to open the main cabin door, guiding passengers away from the fire. Paramedics established triage on the wet grass, treating the injured. Every second was critical. The risk of a larger explosion loomed. Responders worked with focused intensity, pulling people from the smoky cabin. Their actions, under unimaginable pressure, saved lives. In the face of catastrophe, their heroism shone through. Amid twisted metal and flashing lights, the human cost became clear. Survivors, dazed and soot-streaked, stumbled from the wreckage. Some helped strangers, others sat in shock, staring at the burning plane. Stories emerged, a businessman recalling the jolt and heat, a young woman praising the flight attendant's bravery. Paramedics worked tirelessly, treating burns and shock. Firefighters, faces etched with fatigue, searched the wreckage. For responders, this was personal, a tragedy involving their own. The silence for the victims was profound, every action taken with reverence. The loss was more than a number. It was a collection of ended journeys. As the last injured were transported, the investigation began. The NTSB Go team arrived, launching a meticulous inquiry. Their mission, not blame, but prevention. The lead investigator outlined the process, documenting the scene, securing evidence. The runway became a secure site, every fragment cataloged. Teams focused on wreckage, air traffic recordings, and survivor interviews. Human accounts and technical data would be woven into a factual narrative. The investigation would be thorough and impartial. The long night of searching for answers had just begun. Investigators combed the debris field, marking every fragment. The search for the black boxes was urgent. They held the flight's final moments. The flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder would reveal crucial details. Another team examined the fire truck's systems and communications. Airport procedures for ground vehicles in low visibility came under scrutiny. Investigators found personal belongings, poignant reminders of lost lives. Each discovery reinforced their responsibility. Their findings could change safety protocols worldwide. The work was a solemn tribute, a promise to make flying safer. Dawn revealed the devastation: a scarred runway, blackened wreckage. LaGuardia remained closed, its silence echoing the city's grief. News broadcasts showed the wreckage. New York mourned together. The focus shifted to families, the injured, and the names of the lost. Investigators continued their work, preserving every piece of evidence. The NTSB's final report would take months, but their commitment was unwavering. Questions lingered: how, why? But answers would come with time. The runway became sacred ground, a site of tragedy and bravery. The shadow of the broken aircraft stretched across the city. Tonight's collision would not soon be forgotten. The search for answers and healing had only